Well, hello everyone, and you join us here today for a little bit of a retro-reflective look at the launch of the Omega MoonSwatch. It's been a few weeks since the hustle and bustle and craziness of the launch of the MoonSwatch. How are you feeling about it all now, Tom?
Well, I was kind of hoping that the next time we talked about it was when we were reviewing the one that I own, but that's not the case. And in fact, I've gone the other way now. I'm not interested anymore. Sick of it.
Well, I do have some bad news for you and to everyone else who doesn't know this.
Oh, yeah.
Where Swatch said they were going to be selling the MoonSwatch online, they have turned around on that. They are not going to be selling them online. I mean, at least until they say they are going to be selling them online, but for now they are not going to be selling them online.
That's really funny, actually, because think about that. So now your only chance of getting an Omega MoonSwatch is to just try your luck in a boutique when you pass by, and then to realise that there are none in there and to leave empty-handed. So is that Omega copying Rolex yet again? We want our customers to walk into our empty boutiques and then leave empty-handed, just like they do with Rolex.
Yeah, it'll be the wait list next, won't it? So they have said, Swatch, that exactly as you've just described, Tom, why not pop into that one boutique in the country that sells them, which for me is several hours away at least, and just see if they have one. Never mind if they have the one that you want, if they have one, which of course they probably won't. So, nice try, Swatch. I did like the whole idea of this watch being something that was available and sort of breaking that trend a little bit.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to be the case, unfortunately. I have some speculation as to why, Tom. Do you have any thoughts as to why that might be?
Well, I don't know. I was with you. I was kind of hoping it would be ubiquitous, which is not a word often associated with a popular model of watch, and it doesn't feel like it is. I can't imagine why they want to do that. I believe the hype was not anticipated by either Swatch nor Omega. Is this a way to try and rein that in? I think it's going to have the adverse effect. I've no idea why they're doing this.
Well, I did hear through the rumour mill next to the grapevine, very much 85th hand, that Swatch and Omega had no idea that this watch was going to be as successful as it was. That it was a little bit of throwing mud at the wall and seeing what stuck. So whether that's true or not, I don't know, but certainly the reaction from Swatch, the chaos of the launch, the inability to provide any extra supply, the flip-flopping on messaging, and the general lack of messaging. Swatch have been very quiet on this. Does suggest that the expectation of the popularity of this watch was far, far lower than it actually was. Because we're just not seeing really any second wind. And if Rolex has a great process for just keeping on top of keeping enough supply to keep people interested, but not so much that supply is overwhelmed, Omega and Swatch have gone the other way. People have sort of fizzled out because there aren't any. No one's talking about it anymore. The Swatch aren't going, oh, look at these great watches that you can buy. Get your name on the waiting list. Oh, 100 more delivered. Oh, we've put a ticket system online, and all those kinds of things that keep it at the front of people's minds. It almost completely disappeared. In fact, Watches and Wonders, it was already fizzling out a bit. I was expecting the first day of Watches and Wonders, the launch of the new Rolex pieces, to be when Omega went, right, they're online. Jump in, everyone, and everyone at Watches and Wonders was going to be scrabbling on their phones to try and buy one. It was a very different story.
Yeah, that would have been a good idea. What it seemed actually at the show was quite funny because it felt like the fervour around that had sort of died down, and there were a lot of people there wearing them. You could spot them, but when they were getting spotted, there was a little bit of jest. There was a little bit of like, hey, look at you with your little plastic watch. And there was, we saw a chap with the Mission to Mars, the red MoonSwatch, and someone was like, oh, have you got a red wrist? Does it turn your wrist red? And he went, and he sort of snapped and went, no, that's only the blue one does that.
Which made it even worse, didn't it? It was just like, no.
Yeah, I don't know. It's the maelstrom of excitement has sort of died down, and now there's just a sort of few embarrassed owners out there.
It does seem a little bit like that, doesn't it? I'm just thinking, would I still want to own one for 200 quid? If I could get the colour I wanted, why not? And it can be my garden beach smashing watch.
Yeah, if you could get the colour you wanted and not one of the consolation ones that wasn't the Mercury or the Moon.
Yeah. But do I want one with the same excitement and anticipation? Has the hype worn off? I would say yes.
Yeah, again. I sort of talk about this in an upcoming video where I talk about the Casio F91W and how it's sort of cherished because it's a very nostalgic watch with heritage that we all love and admire.
Yeah.
And it's affordable. And it's sort of like, that's what I think this MoonSwatch has tapped into. Like, oh, it's a named watch, it's a model, it's familiar, and it's affordable. But now it's not anymore. It's vanished. It's sought after. It's not affordable. It's not attainable, and it's just like all the other watches, and everyone's sick of it now.
It may as well be a myth and a legend at this point, and I think.
Yeah, are we sure it's not even an April Fool's Day still? Because it was around the same time.
But when you see Rolex prices going up, it's a watch worth thousands becoming worth more thousands. But when a watch worth hundreds, at best, becomes worth thousands, it's just disheartening and
yeah,
it's the hero you hoped, like the Robin Hood of the industry that you hoped, but it turns out that he didn't give any to the poor, he kept it all for himself.
Yeah, it's George Clooney as Batman is what you're saying. Yeah, you wanted it to be great, but it was just a farce. And I think that is what it is. It's just disheartening. If these had been, if they'd made them online and production was, abundant and supply was met, then we all could be having fun with our sort of fun little plastic watches. But instead, we're moaning about it like everything else.
It could have been the Adam West, a little bit of light-hearted fun, but it's all got out of hand.
Yeah,
it's a shame, really. What do I hope for this watch? Well, I don't think I want to get every single colour like I originally did, but I certainly do want to get one. I want to get the Jupiter, actually, as it happens. I don't know what you want to get, Tom.
I want the Moon one.
Oh, you want the one that tricks people into thinking you have the Moon watch?
Yeah, I want the imposter.
But it does make me think, when I actually have it, how will I really feel? Because I don't know if you've ever had this before, where you've had this thing and you want it so bad, and you get it and it's so exciting, and then you have it and actually you feel a little bit silly. I'm a little bit concerned that for 200 quid, I'm just going to feel like a boob.
Yeah, well, yeah, that is the trouble with 200 quid watches. You think they're going to change your life, but they don't really. Yeah.
That's the thing. Is it the feel and excitement and anticipation of a £5,000 watch for 200 quid? Or is it the stupidity of wearing a £200 watch and pretending like it's a £5,000 one?
Yeah.
I don't know. Dear viewer and listener, if you manage to secure one, what's the reality like several weeks on? Has the hype died down? Has the bubble burst? Or do you still really enjoy the watch? People who haven't been able to purchase one, what do you think? Are you still trying to get hold of one, or are you just thinking, whatever, when they come back down in price, when they become available? I'm going to assume that the reason for the scarcity isn't any kind of great marketing plan, since no one's really talking about them anymore. I'm going to say that it's just Omega and Swatch don't have the capacity to produce the volumes necessary, which is a shame. I don't know what those numbers look like. I'd be very interested to know, but I don't know. We will just have to keep our ears to the ground, which seems to be the theme for this part of the watch season. All very speculative. But until we do find out what's going on, keep on subscribing, keep on liking. Thank you for watching these videos. And thank you for all the lovely things you've been saying. And we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.